Hello, everybody. So I decided to do a, quick update today, and the reason why I'm doing an update tonight, it's the 10th of May, is because I'm on the road and I'm going to be pretty busy the next couple of days, a few days. I might not have a time to do a stream anyway. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm actually Central Time right now. I'm in Houston on the road playing a show. As some of you may know, I'm a musician, a piano player, and so that's what I do on the side. Now this is my account, my standard Oanda account that you guys have been following with me. And actually just closed out some trades a couple hours ago. Well, actually only about an hour ago, and was going to talk about those. And I also have some updates on what's going on with me trading wise that I wanted to share. So let's get into those now. So right today, or about an hour ago, I closed out, or my EA closed out some profit. You can see the two trades here. So trade 1 and trade 2 on the pound CAD, and the $153 profit. Now this was a standard entry after the inside candle set up here, the push down inside candle, bullish inside candle, and it didn't quite reverse at that point. As you can see, it went down further. Another entry was made, and so we had two orders, and then they both shot up. Now typically, what I'll do is I take anywhere from 25 to 50 pips amongst these two trades. So most of the time, one will be losing and the other one will be winning. But you can see here that we took a lot more than 25 to 50 pips. The first trade was about 60 pips, 59. And the second one was about 90 or so pips. Now, why did we do that? Well, it's because we were also trading the Euro Pound. And the Euro Pound, we had a few more trades than just two. So we had 1, 2, 3, and 3 trades in on this pair. So we had 3 trades in and on the Euro Pound and 2 trades in on the Pound CAD. Now the idea is that since these pairs are correlated, and one is more volatile than the other, that they kind of will complement each other. I've mentioned this before in the past, and it can't be back tested very well. So it's something that I've had to really try to calculate on my own and try to figure out and test to make sure that this idea will work. So both of them will be in drawdown at the same time, but when they start heading into the profit, like when the movement of the pair starts going in my favor, that likely the pound CAD will move a lot stronger than the Euro Pound, causing my trades to pull out in profit sooner. So the trades will close out later on the pound CAD because it is more volatile once it starts moving into profit. But the trades on the Euro Pound will close out sooner. So what I'm doing here is allowing both pairs to kind of speak to each other and closing out trades when everything is in profit or eventually in profit. And this, I find, a good way to trade, and a safer way to trade, because on the slower pair, that's also very good in the long term, like on the Euro Pound with the 25-year history. It does close out trades earlier on that pair. Now you might be asking, well, why don't you just trade the pound CAD if that is the better pair? Well, because there will be times where we won't have trades on the pound CAD, and there'll be times where the Euro Pound just has its own trades by itself, and they'll close out in profit. The thing is that how I'm running this is the pound CAD is trading on its own, the Euro Pound is trading on its own when they only have trades in on those pairs by themselves. So it's only this kind of strategy that I'm showing you now is only when we have trades in on both pairs, and so this is how they take profit. So you can see here that we have a $98 loss on these three trades. All of them were in loss except for, I think this one was in a small, like 1 or 2 pip profit, but the rest of them were in loss, overall loss of $98. and then on the pound CAD we had a closing profit of 153. So if you do the math, you can see here. Well, you don't even have to, because it shows the overall profit, which is 54.76, which is a gain of 0.36%. And you can see my lot sizes that were out as well, and the pips and how many pips I profited on them. So that's just this week. It's still pretty early. I don't know if we'll have more profits this week. We still have a few days left. And that's pretty much all I've had this week. So I'm not crying. This is great. I didn't really do anything. I've been on the road since early this morning, and these trades were all managed on their own because of, well, the coding that I did or had done for this type of trading and strategy. Okay, so things are going well with my EAs, and people are always talking about how EAs don't work, they don't do this, they don't do that. Of course they don't, because most people are buying retail EAs, and so they don't know how they work, and most of them are retail EAs, and so that's why they are meant to make profit off of the actual sale than making profit in the actual market itself. So never really trust retail EAs. There's only one of them I really trust out there, and that's the Happy Forex EA, which I can go more in depth in a future video, but I have mentioned it in previous videos as well. But these EAs that I'm using are my built EAs. They're not copied code from anywhere else. It's EAs that I've had created and coded on behalf of myself. So anyways, let's get down to what's going on. And then so you guys can continue to follow me, and we will get into more trading. I know that's something that I keep promising, that we'll talk more about trading. It's just the thing is that we haven't had a lot of trades this week, so I can't really talk about them, but I can show you at least what's been taking place, even with the small amount of trades I have. To be a successful trader, you don't need to be trading every single second. That's what I'm showing you here, is that I only had 98 pips profit this week, but I'm taking it and I'm rolling with it. Now typically, if this was a larger account, like $100,000, 98 pips or a 0.36% gain would actually be very substantial. But this is only 15,000, but that may change soon. So let's get into that for the next couple of minutes. I can show you the profits today on my FX book, and a total of 30.77% on this account. Yeah, it's the same account that's been going since November of 2016. Okay, so previously, some of you, if you've been following me long enough, I've been using I traded at a company called MaverickFX.com. They are a prop trading firm, and if you don't know what that is, you can just search it online. It's basically a company that allows you to trade their funds. So you sign up, and they allocate funds to you so you can trade. If you prove yourself that you can trade profitably. It can be pretty expensive to trade at Maverick FX. They do require you to pay a entrance fee to sign up, and they also, it's not just that, you also have to take tests, you have to pass exams as well, and you have to prove your worth to them. So it's not just a paid entrance, it's also exams on top of that, and so it can take a good month to really have everything set up before you can even start trading. But so far my experience with them has been very good, at least when I used them in the past. And I'm going to go over that now. And this is something I hope that a lot of you traders can be interested in, at least the ones from the US. I'm not sure if they take traders outside the US, but they are one of the best prop trading firms out there, and I'm going to get into that reason in just a second. Okay, so these are the levels that they have that you can go through, and in this bracket here. So you have level 1, which is I think they actually have a level before that, which is like a a trial type of level, which I think is about 2 to 5,000. So I guess level 0, we'll say, and I think it's about 2 grand, so 2,000. And that will go on for about 3 months. And if you're profitable for 3 months, so 3 months, I don't know if I can type very well, write with this thing very well. So 3 months, and then you'll move over into the 1,000 level. And after 1,000, and that's 10 grand, you get to keep 70% of the profits. And then you move into stage 2, and stage 2 is 20,000, and each stage you can move into after 2 to 3 months of profitable trading. It depends on your performance. You might be able to get an upgrade as early as 2 months. But the whole process will take you about, if you are profitable every single month, which some traders are able to do that. I mean, I'm able to do that pretty much. But if you're profitable most months, you should be able to get to that $300,000 mark in a year, maybe a year and a half, depending on how good of a trader that you actually are. But you can see the percentages go up. So you go from 70% to 75, 80%. Quick note: I am not affiliated, an affiliate of Maverick FX. Just in case you guys are wondering, I'm not trying to make a sell here or anything. I don't get a commission. I'm not even sure if they offer that. I'm just talking about my experience with them. I'm not going to be putting any link in the description or anything. This is just talking about my experience and how I plan to use Maverick FX here coming up soon. So my experience with them was back in 2016, I think about a year or so ago, and I started trading with them. I was trading with them for about three months or so, and they pushed me through the levels pretty quickly. I actually started in level 1. I didn't have to go into the trial phase because I'd already proved myself as a good trader in the testing phase. They wanted to see my trading for about 2 weeks because they could tell I was experienced, and so they moved me after 2 weeks into the phase 1. And then I left Maverick FX at stage 2. And the reason why I left is because they do take 30% of that profit. You get to keep 70%, but they do keep 30%. And there's also a $100 mandatory monthly fee on top of that. So you will pay Maverick about $1,200, excuse me, $1,200 a year to take part in what they have to offer. Now they will train you to become a trader. They have training lessons. They show you how to be profitable. They have systems. They have traders that are talented. I haven't studied with a lot of them, but I heard that there's some good advice. I have checked out some of the materials that they do offer, and they do show some good merit in them. So if you're a trader that's trying to make it and you haven't quite done it yet, this might be worth checking out to see if it's something that you could find value in. I'm going to try to do a little bit more research on that to see what systems they have to offer, and find some maybe some testimonials from individuals that have found success using Maverick's trading platforms and trainers there as well. But they do upgrade, and I have seen them do it. They've moved me from the stage 1 to stage 2. They do follow through with what they say they will do. Every 3 months they will increase your capital if you're profitable. And I left after stage 2 because I realized that the 30% cut that they were taking was substantial to me at the time, and the $100 fee. So I was coming out with not a lot of profit. But the thing is that I totally was missing the point here. Was that it's not about these early stages. Of course you're going to have a lot of overhead, and you only get to keep 70% of the profit. But it's about forking it out until you reach these higher stages. And then once you reach those higher stages, like, you're going to care about $100 a month fee, and you're not going to care much about giving them 25% of the profit because you're trading $80,000. or $300,000. You know, it's just it's not going to be an issue. So I was impatient. I didn't like waiting this long, but the thing is that for us traders that understand that making more than 3 to 5% per month is really difficult to do on a consistent basis without blowing your account, that this is a really good company for those traders that are conservative, that want to make this as a business instead of trying to grow a small account, personal account into $1 million. You know how difficult that is to do. How difficult it is to make 1,000% gain on $1,000. It's only a few traders can do it, and if they're lucky, they can make it happen. But but most of the time, it takes them multiple times to get to that point of actually making that kind of profit, and they are likely still in the hole when it comes to finances, because they've lost a lot more in small sums than they've made even with 1,000% gain with $1,000. That's the case I've seen with most of the traders that I've come across, at least in the retail market. So if you're a trader that likes to conservative gains, then this is something that may interest you, as it does for me, because I'm a conservative trader. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit more about why they're good and why maybe there's some negatives involved. I mean, I mentioned the negatives already, is that they take 30% of the profit, but as you increase through the levels, they take less and less. The biggest drawback, I would say, is the 10% drawdown cutoff. Now, it's not necessarily once you reach 10% of the account, it cuts off, and you have loss. They actually will go over your trades, and it will be a flexible loss. So they'll start maybe talking to you, having a conference call. Okay, you're at 8% loss on your account or drawdown. What's the plan? And you'll say, okay, well, this and that, this is what I plan to do. And they say, okay, well, your plan sounds good. Let's draw this out for a little bit longer. Now, they come back to you. Your account's now at 12% drawdown. And they say, well, what's your plan now? And I say this and that. And if they say that your plan isn't great enough to continue to hold on to these positions, then a decision to cut them off may take place. And so that's as far as I'm aware of how they handle that, which I feel like is a really good way of handling drawdown, because you can talk it over with multiple minds, not just one, to see what the best decision is. Okay. Another drawback is that when they have $10,000, now the thing is that the starter account that I was talking about, when they have 2,000, and in original they invest 2,000 and you invest 2,000, so it's kind of a 50-50 thing that you do. So that's why Maverick is kind of expensive to get involved with. If you have an account already of like $2,000, then that's fine. You can just transfer the money into a broker that they are affiliated with. And so I don't really count the extra $2,000 as a fee or anything like that, because it's actually trading money that you'll be using for your account. But there is, I think, a $1,500 fee or $1,000 fee to get involved with it, and that's not including the $100 a month. So that's probably going to be too much for a lot of you guys out there. I'm going to try to mention or talk to you why I did that. I actually had the money pretty much from trading profits to get involved with Maverick, and I saw that there was a lot of potential with it. But the problem is that you see the 2,000 that you have to start with for an account. They match it at 2,000, and after that, that's pretty much all you have to do. They then at level 1 they move to 10,000, and they move to 20,000, 40, 80,000, and your account still could be at $2,000. That's all that's necessary for you to deposit into your account, and they'll cover the rest. Now, the biggest issue here is that when you have a loss, if there's a loss on the account, it's going to be taken out of your 2000 that you initially did. So if you have a 10% loss on a $20,000 account, a 10% loss would be 2,000, right? Well, they're not going to lose any of their 20K. It's going to be you that takes the hit on that. Doesn't mean that they're going to pull your account and you're going to stop trading with them. No, they'll continue to work with you as long as you're able to continue to profit. But you will lose your $2,000, and that is one of the drawbacks. One of the bigger drawbacks is that if you lose capital, they try to take the liability off themselves and put it on them, and put it on you, especially in the earlier stages. And that's why I think that they have a 10% drawdown cutoff, or that's the time when they start talking to you, because that is in the associate level, which is the beginning stages when most traders end up losing, or in the first 6 months. We know that's a kind of what happens in the retail business, that if you're able to make it longer than 6 months, then you're more likely to be able to make it in the longer term after that. So that's why they don't require you to deposit more after that, after you have that initial $2,000. Okay, so that's why Maverick. Why Maverick instead of my sponsor that I was working with, the ex-banker that I was working with. And the reason why is because I told you in my previous stream that there were a lot of fees involved. In particular, the lawyer fees and certification fees involved in becoming a commodity trader advisor. And it's a big step, and it was going to cost me $10,000, and I just couldn't eat that cost. My sponsor was willing to pay half of it, but I didn't want to pay the extra 5,000, or I think it was about 5 or 7. It was just a bit too much to bite out. And the thing is that the lawyer does not, or the process does not allow you to pay in fees or payments. It's all in lump sum, and I just didn't want to take that hit. At least not yet. So this is likely going to be my next step, where I'll be trading at Maverick. That doesn't mean that this $15,000 account is going to be decimated completely, but I will remove most of it. A good 14,000 will likely be moved, anywhere from 2 to 14,000. Now the thing is that Maverick says that if whatever I deposit with them, they'll match. So if I do a $14,000 deposit, they'll match at 14,000 as well, and I'll have $28,000 to work with, and that will be in stage 2. So that will be in stage 2. So I will have a good 28,000 in that stage. Okay. And they are pretty flexible with that, and especially since I'm coming back into it after a 1-year break. I don't have to pay any additional fee to get involved, but I still will have to take that $100 a month fee and pay that mandatory fee. Okay, so that's what's going to be happening, and of course I'll keep you guys involved. We'll talk about trades and stuff like that. But I'm actually really considering doing some scalping on the pound CAD, continuing to do scalping on the pound CAD. And the reason why is because I still see there's a lot of potential here on the 5-minute time frame on this pair. Something that I haven't looked at too seriously, but I have done it in the past, and I'll have to look a little bit more into it. If I start at Maverick, I likely won't do it. It would be something that's for fun. If I just do it, it will be at a broker like LMFX or something else like that has high leverage. But Maverick is definitely the next step, and I hope that those of you that are following will be interested in this step, because this is something that if you're from the US, you will be able to do as well. Yes, it's expensive, but if you want to be a trader and you want to be a longer term trader, then this is something that is very real, and they do follow through. I did have 20,000 in my account, over 20,000. I think it was like 20 or 30,000 back a year ago when I was trading. So it's substantial, and they have the money, and they're based out of Utah, where I was originally from, or grew up, and so I know that the area very well. The people are very nice to work with. They're very knowledgeable, And again, one of the best prop trading firms, and the reason why they're one of the best is because they're honest, and they are the only ones, one of the very few, that have a 10% drawdown potential cutoff. Most of them do not have that. It's either 5% or even less. So this 10% is huge. It's huge, guys. And they also, with 3-month upgrade as well, it's a big deal too. So you can get to the $300,000 mark pretty sound. And I'm going to have to cut down my profits on my system. So I'm making 2 to 3% per month. And so I have to cut it down on it to make sure that I'm staying under that 10% drawdown. Because if I'm not staying under that, then I don't want to keep hitting that. The thing is that I'm going to stay under that 10% drawdown in my EA tests, the ones that I've been running, for the past 25, as long as I can run the test for. So 25 years on the Euro Pound, and 10 years on the Pound CAD, making sure that I'm really close to that drawdown cutoff at the worst possible times in those tests that I had. And still, it should bring me 2 to 3% per month. And if you're thinking about how much is 2 to 3% per month on a $300,000 account, well, 1% is 3,000, right? So 2% would be 6,000, and then 3% would be $9,000. So that's a really good income, right? And that's basically on their dime. And so that's why I'm looking at doing that, and it's something that should it should pan out. We'll see how things work with my EA. So guys, I hope you continue to follow my progress with this. If Maverick all checks out, I will likely start trading with them again next week. So I'll keep you posted on that. And I hope that some of you can find this enlightening and maybe join yourself if you're looking at being a serious trader. Alright, until next time, guys, I hope that you're profiting in your trades, and we'll see you next time.